Good evening, Reed Spring Wolf family. We have just wrapped up our October school board meeting. I honestly, I want to say first off, I want to say thank you all for engaging in our trunk or treat yesterday. I have never been to a trunk or treat here with that much attendance. We've had so many families and so many kids here. We want to give a shout out to all of our vendors, all those individuals that came and participated in that and handed out candy. Thank you to everyone involved, all of our volunteers and staff members. What a really cool community event. We, again, like I said, wrapped up our board meeting. A few things to touch base on. We reviewed the following items. Our strategic plan belief is that we believe all individuals are unique and should be valued and respected. And then the board norm, once a decision is made, we will communicate the board's decision with support as a unified group. We are engaged in the work of our portrait of a graduate. So we had a really lengthy conversation with our board tonight, and it was the most important conversation that we had about teaching and learning. About the portrait of a graduate is essentially taking community input and doing research and identifying what are some core competencies, durable skills that our kids must have to be successful when they leave our school district. And it's really a conversation about a redesign of education, a merging of content, which is critical. We got to teach kids how to read. We need to teach kids math skills and those content skills, but merging that with the core competencies. And so what we are charging our school district and our staff and our team and our administrators to do is to reimagine what education could look like. School systems were designed off of a model that really was developed during the Industrial Revolution, where it was kind of that factory model, classrooms divided into grade levels. Really was created for a different time frame. And through that evolution of years, while we have evolved some, we haven't really evolved significantly. We still walk into schools and see a very similar style of educating kids that have been around for years. Our teachers are working hard at implementing visible learning, on implementing really key effective strategies in our classrooms. Our teams of teachers are collaborating at a new level where they're sharing best practices, and we're beginning to experience students, teachers in classrooms that are beginning to help students gain more ownership over learning by having clarity of what they're learning and how they're progressing towards those learning standards. So we feel like Portrait of a Grad, what it is, it's a blending of real world experiences and personalized education with these durable skills. We need to continue to challenge the status quo, challenge how we teach kids. Every single child in our district deserves to have a rich learning experience that is relevant, meaningful, and something they can get passionate about. We have a population of kids who continue to be unmotivated to learn, and I would just challenge our parents and our community to embrace the power of education, to embrace the power of reading to your kids, especially at a young age. We see a very clear difference between children who are read to at home, where books are part of their lives, and kids who are not. We're not only seeing that in literacy skills, but or literacy skill deficits, but we're also seeing it in behavior challenges. We encourage you to create structures in your home and continue to work on helping your kids socially engage. What we've seen since COVID and just continues to evolve is an expansion or just an extended amount of kids who are dysregulated, who don't know how to socially engage and socially interact in school. And so to think that they're ready to learn, it's almost, how do you work on literacy skills if they can't control themselves? And so our teams and our teachers are trying to figure that out. We're trying to create new systems and design on how to support our buildings and provide interventions and supports for behaviors. And so as we move forward in the years to come and enter strategic planning, we're going to be really intentional about what we're doing with kids and how we're creating personalized learning, like what we're seeing at our Career Center. Taylor Rock Career Center, if you go into that building, when you see kids learn and engage in our Career Center, it sparks a whole different type of passion. We can take a child, a student in high school who is disengaged in a content classroom, but as soon as they get into that Career Center, their attendance is increased, their engagements increase, and they're passionate. And then when they leave, the bigger piece is when they leave high school, they're actually entering a workforce in an area that they're passionate about. They have a career path. They have a focus. And so I feel like all this work that we've done for the last 5 years has been really foundational. Visible learning work is really critical to be able to continue to push forward with Portrait of Grad. All those components of collaboration and teaming and instructional strategies are really critical. And then you bring in the Portrait of Grad work, which is really super important to help kids be able to have success beyond the classroom. So there's going to be a lot of conversation we have as a staff, as a community in the coming months about this, but just want to let you know that was one of the most important pieces of conversation we had. Liz Smith, our Director of Business and Finance, presented our financials, and we made some budget revisions, just some typical work there. She did a great job of presenting that. We have been meeting one-on-one with staff. My central office leadership team has a cycle of meeting one-on-one with staff. Those of you that we have met with, those meetings have been super valuable. We've already been engaging in conversations about those meetings as we've been gathering input on our culture and climate, as well as areas to improve for students and areas to improve for staff. Again, as I've met with staff, what I continue to hear is we need to create a culture of student agency and empower kids and student motivation. And how do we do that? By creating good learning structures. So the RSS Connect experience has been really rich and really great. We'll have more reports to provide our district staff on that as we move forward. We are moving forward with our career center is about ready to be done. We're actually going to begin starting moving project as of now. We are anticipating an opening date with our students on November 12th. That's our plan right now. So we'll see how the move goes in the next week and a half, the next couple of weeks. But that is our plan, and we feel pretty good about that. We'll make further announcements, obviously, when that's ready to roll. Look at our social media, and you'll see when that is officially solidified. But November 12th right here. We will wait to have official open house for families and community in January once the building's all settled in, our staff settled in, and we have it looking perfectly the way we want to. We'll have a huge community event where people are invited to come and tour that facility. Dr. Kite, Dr. Dublin, and I were able to present and showcase our district at a national event where we got to talk about all the great things that we're doing in our district and then also get feedback on some next steps for us as Portrait of Grad. That was a really wonderful experience. In December, we're starting our Vision 2030 strategic planning with an outside facilitator. That is going to be modeled after the same process that we used on the first strategic plan. And so we'll have a 3-day experience with a smaller 35 member group who will help review our mission, our vision, our mission, our beliefs, our parameters, and then identify those strategies. And then once that's released in January, we'll have a community meeting like we did last time, opening up to anybody who is of goodwill to be part of an action team in our district to help set action recommendations for how we're going to get to those strategic plans. So there's going to be a lot to come this year. There's been a lot that we've already been tackling with Portrait of a Grad, but the 2030 plan will be ready to hopefully be adopted by June at the latest. Dr. Kite presented a professional development plan that was approved by the board. Carlos Haynes, our transportation director, gave a highlight of our transportation department, showcasing our continued improvement and excellence scores on bus inspections. His leadership is doing remarkable things. One of the things that he expressed as his biggest challenge, and we know this, are behaviors on the bus. Please talk to your child about how they should behave on the bus. Keep them engaged. Let them know that you support staff and administrators in handling discipline that may happen on the bus, and just giving them encouragement to be their best selves as they ride each day. The board reviewed the committee. There was a committee put together to review turf bids. I shared this last month. The board has approved the turf bid from Geosurfaces as the provider. This is going to provide additional one. Again, I'll just recap that our current turf has passed its lifespan. It is now functionally is not safe in a safe condition, so we need to replace it, which is why we're doing this. And it's not necessarily wasn't at the top of our list in terms of wants, but it's a need. We have to do this. And so this new turf is going to remove all the infill, so you're not going to have the black beads, which was going to cut down on having to have third parties come out to work on the turf, having new infill put on the turf. It is also going to have in it an additional padding. So this padding is a shock padding that will about concussion prevention and safety. That was the number one lens our team looked through as they were analyzing this. I would give shout out to Lance Gosh, our activities director, um, and Jason Reich, our new director of operations, will be beginning in January, for their research and work on the RFQ and getting those bids and their priority on student safety. That was their number one goal, was that they created a safe product that would last a long time. We also selected this bid because this bid provides a 12-year warranty versus an 8-year warranty on the product. And the underlayment, while all the bids had a 24 or 25-year warranty, we'll actually be able to get essentially 2 turfs on this cycles, where you'd almost have to pay for 3 different turfs on an 8-year warranty, 3 different turfs to last the same time frame. So a very significant cost savings long term for the bid that was accepted for the turf. So that will begin, install will begin right at the end of football season, and we in the RFP have it concluded before track season, fall or spring sports starts. So you'll see the turf getting ripped up and a new turf getting laid down like a roll of carpet. Again, the turf that we got was a used turf when we got it. It was 2 or 3 years used from the University of Cincinnati, which really caused the turf to deteriorate at a faster level. We also the board approved JMark as our managed service provider. They will continue that service for us. We appreciate Joe Carlisle and his team for evaluating that and providing that leadership. Finally, the good news that our staff have been waiting for, I know, is the board approved our staff wellness incentive. This is a $500 reimbursement for you to use funds to take care of your health or mental well-being. You will see in the next day or two information coming from our office about the process to be able to begin to get reimbursement for that and what that will look like. But I will tell you, you have $500 to use on you in a way that will take care of your mental health or your physical well-being. So please take advantage of that. My preference would be that every single dollar that we could spend for every single employee would be spent, because to me that communicates that we have every employee doing something to take care of themselves. This is part of our culture. Part of our culture is taking care of folks, taking care of our staff, taking care of our community, or our staff, so that they can serve our community and serve our kids. There's nothing more important than our children who we serve, and we have to have great adults who are well taking care of those needs. Exciting day. Oh, I'll also say that Liz Smith reviewed our attendance set of data, and we've dropped from our number of staff members that had been using attendance in the last few years to now we have dropped significantly, like a 20% drop from like 70% of a leave that was used to like 50%. And so what we're noticing is that is working. Staff, I want to encourage you to be here. Use your Mondays off to take care of many of the needs as you can. And then those other days, if you get here, you get that $100 per day at the end of the year, a little incentive, but it also blesses our kids to have you here working with them. It was a good board meeting. It was a lengthy board meeting because we had a lot of great discussion and debate and dialogue. Great things are happening in Reed Spring. Amazing things are yet to come. And the most amazing piece happens every day in our classrooms with our teachers. Appreciate everyone. Have a great fall season, and we'll see you next month.